get a top plus job behind some desk. No. It means that where the general level of the people were and where they're expected to be, Ibn Taymiyyah achieved that at the age of 19. Became a professor of Islamic studies. Well-versed Quranic studies, hadith, fiqh, theology, Arabic grammar, scholastic theology. Started giving fatwas, without following any traditional legal school, following the dalil. Following the dalil, like they used to ask Bin Baz. The old tape of Bin Baz, done in the early 70s. Bin Baz talked, you know how those tapes, those old tapes speak. He says that, and he about the madahib, about this, somebody said, Ya Sheikh, what madhab do you follow? He said, madhabi dalil. Madhabi dalil. That's my madhab. Dalil. You know? The proof. That's the madhab. So this is what Ibn Taymiyyah was on. He defended the ahadith. He defended them by arguing on their behalf. Taking the Quran and Sunnah, which was unfamiliar to the people of his time. He taken from the blessed book directly. He can't do that. That was their mentality. That you read Quran for barakah. Read hadith for barakah. But istinbat, to actually extract knowledge and ilm and deen from it? No. Well, Ibn Taymiyyah showed him something different. Showed him another way. Right? Facts of, he had enemies among the so-called traditional scholars. Traditional scholars in this sense was Asha'ira. They were on the Aqidah of Abu Hassan al-Ash'ari. And you should be aware of the Aqidah of Abu Hassan al-Ash'ari, that which is ascribed to Abu Hassan al-Ash'ari, even though Abu Hassan al-Ash'ari left it. Beware of the Aqidah, because when we go through this book, you will find that he will refute some of their beliefs. And there's no need in refuting a particular school or particular thought or particular idea, right, that an individual has if you don't know something about the history of that group. Well, Hassan Ash'ari, everybody knows him probably in this masjid for one thing. Took off a abaya and said, I was done with the madness I was on. Well, there was a starting point with him, and there's some other things to him much more than that. Abu Hassan Ash'ari. And he was raised in a house, into another target. He was raised in a house of Al-Jubba'i, which was a Mu'tazili. His stepfather. Stepfather was the head of the Mu'tazila. Now just say, the Mu'tazila are those who deny all the names and qualities of Allah, but they sugarcoat it by saying, I'll say Allah is hearing, but He can't hear. I'll say He's all seeing, but He can't see. I'll say that He's this, but He's not that. They play what? Games. They play what? Games. And this is what the Mu'tazila are up on. Well, you can imagine if this man is a scholar in this matter, how he might have influenced Abu Hassan al-Ash'ari coming up. Then at some point in time, Abu Hassan al-Ash'ari got away from him. And he studied with a man named Abu Sa'id al-Kullab. Abu Sa'id al-Kullab. They were the present-day Ash'ari of today. They have 7 qualities that they approve for Allah. And he said, rather than denying all qualities, approving 7 is better than denying all. Isn't it? To approve 7 qualities, no doubt, then rather than denying all. Because those who deny all the qualities of Allah, better get used to this type of kalam, because most of the AQeedatul Wasatiyyah is like this. Gotta get used to this type of speech, type of way of talking. Gotta become your habit, your second nature while you're studying this. And the point of the issue is that, as this Salaf have stated, Al-Mu'attila, the one who denies the qualities of Allah, he worships Adam. He worships nothing. So that without attributes of quality is nothing, brother. Well, Al-Mushabbiha, those who ascribe to Allah similarity, say Allah is like this and that, they worship sanam. They worship idols. And that they have made up, right? Nevertheless, he went through that level, said, I'll better to be with those who approve 7 than those who reject all. Then he ran into Sheikh Abu, I'm going to remember all the Muqtadi, now I'm coming to Salafi, al-Zakaria, Sajid al-Zakaria, one of the great students of Ahmad ibn Hanbal. Imam of Ahl Sunnah, and he set them right. He set them on the right course regarding how you believe in Allah Ta'ala and His names and qualities. At that point, Abu Hassan al-Ash'ari wrote two of his monumental works, Maqalat al-Islamiyya, statements of the Islamists, and Al-Ibana, which is the correct Aqeedah of Ahl Sunnah. And they, except for two mistakes that they say he couldn't get away from. Because once you're raised on something, or grow on something, and you down with something, hard for you to get away from it. You have to be out your mind to think that you're going to get away from some of that madness overnight. Might take a while to get out your blood, not your system. Honey? He was a great scholar and he couldn't do it. To the degree that he said he still had some of that with him. He couldn't drop it all. But Allah Ta'ala calls to account for that which we are able, not for that which we are able. And Allah Ta'ala is Ghafurun Rahim. He's forgiving and mercy. And Allah Ta'ala is Latifun, gentle with His servant. Bil-ibadihi, with His servant. So nevertheless, Al-Ibana, by the way, was translated here in 1923 or 25. By Orientalist Catholic, translating the correct Aqidah. And most of those who in that time, in the 1920s, talking about the Muslims didn't even know proper Islam. The Orientalists translating the book on correct Aqidah. By Abu Hassan Ash'ari. So, the Ash'aris are present, brothers. The Ash'aris are over every major Islamic institution nowadays. Give me a Sheikh-Ul-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. And he's talking, and what he's pushing, and what he's calling to is different than what they're on. They had to reject it. They had to find fault with him. They had to go to the rulers and complain about him. Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah was thrown in prison many times. Yeah, Ibn Taymiyyah did time, man. He did a bit. Taymiyyah did a bit, man. Why? Calling to the correct Aqidah. Calling to the correct Aqidah. The world are different for what he did time for and what others have. He called to Aqidah, to the correct Aqidah, to the correct Minhaj. They tried all types of matters. Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah was jailed. And one of them who falsely accused me for that was Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta, his book translated too by Iran. His book, The Travels of Ibn Battuta. You can go down to Devil Day or, Barnes and Nobles, you can find it. Ibn Battuta, travel. And you'll find this thing he lies about regarding Ibn Taymiyyah in it. And that is, he said, I was in the mosque in Damascus, and I see Ibn Taymiyyah on the minbar saying Allah Ta'ala descends from the throne, just like I'm walking down these steps like this. Kazzab! Wallahi kazzab! Lying upon Ibn Taymiyyah. Lying upon Ibn Taymiyyah, Allah. And at the time that Ibn Battuta visited Damascus, it's historically found that Ibn Taymiyyah was not even there, he was in prison. Man was locked up somewhere else, and you're making this claim against him. When he visited Damascus, Ibn Taymiyyah was in jail. But does not make Ibn Battuta leave off his lying, talking about he's seen him do this, saying every night Allah descends to the lower heaven like my descent, and he came down and pooped step by step. If we read the Aqidah of Ibn Taymiyyah, we understand that this man must have been mad. And then now we got the same problem we have when they ascribe things to Ibn Baz, and Ibn Baz we know said something else. Or they ascribe things to Al-Albani, and Al-Albani we know said something else. We got two Al-Albani, and we got two Ibn Baz. We must have two Ibn Taymiyyah. When Ibn Taymiyyah lost his father at the age of 22, he became the teacher and succeeded him as Al-Asqariyah. He began to teach a tafsir. And it says tafsir classes were full. Not like ours. Man had people in there, you know what I mean? Like a Jummah. That's the only way we can say it now. Like a Jummah. You know like Jummah, brother. You know like Eid. That's how the classes was. They come to benefit. And they heard much benefit. Bani Umayyah. And he began to teach Salafiyah. And he became one of the leading scholars of Syria. We don't have much time. We'll go on to the Mongol threat. The Tatars. Meanwhile, Iraq, Iran, and Khurasan were smothered under, getting earlier than 6:30 now, 7:30 now. Oh, Mustan. Can't keep going back. What brother 6 o'clock? We're going to have to do that to Maghrib, brothers. I don't know if y'all want to do that now or wait till after next week. How you want to do? I tipped her several times to capture Iraq, but failed each time. Who? The Mamluks. No, the Tatar. The Mamluks were ruling over Egypt and Syria and Hijaz. It's important to learn Islamic history. I'm talking about Mamluks, Tatars, something like that. I'm talking about